Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Curtains Up, a historical perspective on drama. Today's episode is a little different and very close to my heart. We often talk about theater as performance, history, and storytelling, but today we're exploring something just as powerful: how watching theater can support senior wellness, socially, emotionally, and cognitively. I've had the privilege of bringing performances into senior centers and watching firsthand how stories on stage spark laughter, conversation, and even memories that might not have surfaced otherwise. I'm so excited to welcome Miss Nanda Tewari, who works every day to support the health, happiness, and the sense of community among older adults in our local community. Ms. Tewari is the Senior Services Coordinator at Indian American Community Services, or IACS. It is an Indian community based organization in the Pacific Northwest that works to connect and empower the Asian Indian community through programs, services, and advocacy for people of all ages and all life stages. Ms. Tewari, thank you so much for joining us today. We've had the pleasure of performing at your senior center for several years now, and it has been such a meaningful experience with both of the students and the seniors. I'd love to hear your perspective on all of this.
Thank you for inviting me, Rohan, and thank you for performing for our seniors for the past several years. Um, I'm delighted to be here, and I can talk about the IACS Senior Program, which has been going on for over 30 years. Um, it served the seniors 55 and over, and it makes sure that the seniors are involved, connected, active. Um, Thanks to the funding from King County and the cities of Redmond, Sammamish, Bellevue, and Kent, that our program has grown over the years. And we have pop up centers all around town. We love serving the seniors.
So, how long has this program been up? Would you say, like when did it start, and how did it get started?
So, as I said, it started over 30 years ago. Obviously, I was
Okay.
not involved then.
Yes, yes, yes.
But it started very small, like it was completely volunteer based. And it started actually as like a little lunch get together for the seniors. And slowly it grew and we added more services. And ever since the pandemic, the program has grown a lot. Earlier, it was just one center. Now we have Redmond, Bellevue, Bothell, Kent, Sammamish. So we have like pop up centers. The idea being we go where our community is. So it is much easier for the seniors in those areas to at least reach to the center near them.
Yeah, I think that's a very nice pattern of growth, especially because the fact that it started over 30 years ago and then now it has become super large scale
Yes,
is very good, especially because seniors don't get that much help from other
absolutely.
programs, so it's nice to see some programs actively help trying to help our community, which is kind of why I like performing for seniors so much. It's just my way of giving back to the community in any way.
Absolutely.
um, what first drew you to working with seniors, and how did that lead you into coordinating this program?
I was always a people's person, and I was fascinated with hearing stories from the seniors about their lives, their struggles, accomplishments, and I always felt so inspired by them. So, about 10 or so years ago, I had the opportunity to volunteer with the senior program, and working with them validated my desire to continue to be amongst them. And I just loved hearing them sing, laugh, and enjoy bingo that I played with them. And within a couple of years, that volunteering transitioned into a full time job, which I feel very blessed about every single day. And as I mentioned earlier, our program also grew. So there were several pop up centers, and they needed somebody to coordinate programming for all the centers. So I guess I was the right fit at that time, and I'm very grateful for that.
And that's great. At least you got a position that you liked, right?
Oh,
And
absolutely.
it's very nice that you found it through volunteering, because
Yes,
volunteering is a very good way to sort of give back to the community, obviously. And it's
yes,
just very nice to sort of see rewards from volunteering, because you do volunteering not for anything, but it's sort of to give, right? So to get
absolutely.
something back is very nice from it.
Yes, yes.
Can you paint a picture or what a typical day of session looks like in your program?
Sure. Our typical program day starts with the seniors arriving in the morning between 9:30 and 10 a.m. They check in and they start settling and greeting each other. Then we have the fitness class at 10:30 for about an hour. After the fitness class, there is an hour of activity which varies from games, talks, music, celebrations, art, and after that, they get freshly cooked hot lunch, followed by tea and coffee. Then we have another hour of similar fun activity, after which we wrap up and the seniors go back home. In addition to this, we have a help desk with our cultural navigators to help the seniors with their questions. We also host special help desks from time to time on immigration, transportation, and health insurance.
Sounds like a very busy day. It's
It is
typically.
always very busy.
So how do you get through it? And like, cause you coordinate everything, right? Do you have like a specific sort of schedule that you follow, or just like
So I will say we have a wonderful team. I'm not the one who does it alone. And I have an amazing team, and we have a calendar of events that we plan, like, scheduling the talks and other celebrations. So we get busy, but it's like really fun busy. And with the help of team, I think we are able to execute everything smoothly.
that's very sweet. I think it's very nice that you're able to sort of connect very smoothly, right? Especially because it's like, it must be hard organizing it almost every day, right? Because every day is different, right?
Every day is different, different
So
pop-up center.
being
Yeah.
able being able to juggle that many things, but then doing it with having fun while doing it, I think that's a very important thing to achieve, because if you're not having fun, you won't be able to put
Oh,
passion into it, right?
oh,
So
absolutely. I think passion is very important, and one has to enjoy doing what they do, and especially this kind of work. I think the entire team loves doing what they do, and that's why we are able to do it, joyfully while having fun, and we try to make seniors happy.
that's awesome. From your experience, what are some of the biggest factors that help seniors feel socially connected and emotionally fulfilled?
I think the seniors just having this routine of getting ready to go and attend their own program, that itself is a very positive feeling for them. Um, and I think then they come and socialize with their peers, they eat, they sing, they laugh, they play with them, they share their stories with each other. And all this really helps in making them feel that they belong here, and they have their own friends and their own social life. I think that is the positive impact.
Would you say a feeling of connectedness also helps with that?
Oh, absolutely. They come, they make friends, they feel connected, because it's their peers, they can share similar stories and they can relate to each other. So they look forward to coming to the program.
Right, that's what I thought, because when I put on the performances at the senior center, I think it was like last year and like the last couple of years,
Yes.
I just remember, when I performed the play, or when I like when we put the plays on, after it, we would all the actors that I had and we would eat with the seniors. Like we would go and have
Mm-hmm.
lunch with them, and they were all super sweet, because they were all telling us how much they liked the play, how much they thought it was nice, what their experiences were. So I think that sense of connectedness is
Oh,
also super
absolutely.
important.
Yes, yes.
So, how do you measure or observe wellness and quality of life among the seniors who participate in your programs? Because, as we've just talked about, right, there's multiple ways to measure how some of the biggest factors which help seniors are, but how would you measure the overall wellness?
Um, Although we have formal feedback sessions periodically where we have surveys and they fill it out, but I think the seniors share with us constantly, throughout the year, how, like, for example, yoga that we offer has helped them get rid of their walking stick. Things like that, how they don't feel isolated anymore. We hear stories from them constantly. And, that is the feedback on our program. And, they are so busy with the senior program, and they tell us that they are not dependent anymore on their adult children to plan social activities for them. They have their own program to go to. Many of our seniors have told us the benefits of the chair yoga that they have been doing constantly, how it has helped in their aches and pains and things like that. But when we do have the formal feedback sessions, we do like survey forms, and the seniors can just write or just mark the level of happiness or disappointments that they go through. But overall it has been very positive.
And that's a very good way to get feedback from them, right? Because along with the formal feedback sessions, I think another way is just like just observing their behavior in the workshops, right? Like if because seniors are like they're very open books, right? If they don't like something, they will not
they,
show it,
they
right?
do
Because
they do share what they don't like also.
yeah.
And I mean, I have so many stories from the past 10 years. There have been seniors who've lost spouses and who were very reluctant to be part of the program, but somehow they were like sort of nudged by their children to start attending. And I have seen the difference. Like some people who came who were quiet initially, over the period of time, they have a group of friends, they laugh and they make social plans outside of the senior program also. So we can see the positive impact that the program makes.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that's another thing, right? The feeling of connectedness that these seniors have. Because after they work with each other and the senior program, then they'll be more motivated to be like, oh, we should do this more often, maybe after the program. And then it just sort of develops into another friend group. So I think that's a very good way to sort of see how they feel about programs.
Yes, and I do get to hear stories from them of their other social fun stuff that they do outside of the program. So they love to share that. They go out for lunches, they go out for movies, they do potlucks. So I think, but they always are very grateful that they made those connections in the senior program that they attended.
Yes, for sure. I think that's very cool. And another thing I was curious about is, as we talked about before, the feelings of connectedness and also just the overall biggest factors that help seniors feel socially connected. I was wondering how theatrical performances have an effect on that. Because, as you know, we've worked with your program over the past few summers, creating theatrical performances for senior centers by school children. So, from your perspective, how do these performances contribute to seniors' overall wellness?
Yes, I must thank you for those lovely performances that you have given to our seniors. I think these performances not only bring joy to the seniors by entertaining them, but they create a very like a pure, cheerful, and fun buzz around them, and they look forward to it. They discuss it afterwards, and they love seeing young ones doing such marvelous performances. So overall, I would say that they contribute a lot to the seniors' happiness quotient.
So, well, looking ahead then, how would you like to see programs like theater and other arts expand to support senior health and happiness if it plays such a pivotal role?
Yeah, as I said earlier, theater experience not only keeps the seniors mentally engaged and focused, I think it also leads to conversations amongst them, sometimes reminiscing about their own school, college theater experiences from the past. And a lot of times they have said that they feel like school children again themselves. They feel like, very young when they meet their friends in the senior centers, and they talk about their past and their including the theater and other performing arts.
Yeah, and I was doing some research, especially on the senior wellness, and especially the effect that theater has on senior wellness, because I wanted to make sure that what I was doing actually had an effect. And I found out that through theater, and if seniors engage in theater by either watching it or even performing in it, it reduces the risk of dementia and other brain illnesses by like a severe amount. Like it's
Yeah.
very helpful in stopping that because they're engaging their brain
Yes,
and using
absolutely.
cognitive thinking. So
Yes.
I thought that was very cool to mention.
Yeah. And, I have a soft spot for theater because, interestingly, I have myself done some theater in college and in the Seattle area in the last 20 years. And I don't know if you're familiar. My recent one was a small part in House of Joy. And
I did see House of Joy. I think I do. I think I do remember.
So I think theaters can play a big role in supporting senior health and happiness. The seniors can benefit from the theater not just by being entertained, but also by gaining information, improving their memory and focus, as we talked, and maybe by participating themselves and use their creativity and their buried skills in acting, writing, and singing. They can feel less isolated and more connected, in addition to feeling the joy of being a part of it. So yeah, I think theater can do wonders to the senior community.
Absolutely. And for one of my last questions, for students who want to get involved in this kind of work, where do you think they should start?
You mean students who would like to volunteer with the senior program?
Yes.
Um, you know, our volunteers are the backbone of our program, and anybody who would like to volunteer can contact us by reaching out via our website, iacswa.org. And depending on their interest, we can involve them in different activities. And we've had students during summer come and do digital literacy for the seniors, and performances, and we have had students teach origami to the seniors. So, and we have events during the summer where we take seniors on picnics and field trips, and we can always use more hands. So, anybody who's interested should reach out to us, and we will place them where their interests are.
Yes, that sounds very easy to help whenever, right? And
Yes,
that's also how kind of I also joined the senior center. I just asked. I asked if there was an opening, and they said sure. So I think it's very easy to help with the program, and I think
yeah,
that's a very good that's a good trait of the program.
yes.
And that concludes all my questions. Mr. Wari, thank you so much for sharing your insight and the incredible work you're doing to support seniors in our community. It's clear that wellness is about connection, engagement, joy, and feeling seen.
Thank you so much, Rohan, for inviting me, and I look forward to seeing more performances from you at our center. Thank you.
Of course.
Okay, bye.
Whether it's sparking a memory or simply bringing laughter into a room, live performance has the power to touch hearts at every age. To our listeners, thank you so much for joining this meaningful discussion. If today's episode resonated with you, we encourage you to support arts programming in your community, especially initiatives that bring creative experiences to older adults. And that is all we have for Curtains Up, a historical perspective on drama. Until next time, may the stories we share continue to connect us, both on stage and off.